G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to discuss with you guys how I think Epic could fix Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 7, and I don't mean that because it's broken. I think it's actually a pretty good season overall. I see a lot of casuals and competitive fans really enjoying it. I just think there's a few aspects of the game that people are pretty unhappy with. UFOs, the railguns, the Recon guns, and instead of just complaining and saying they're terrible, I've actually come up with a few solutions that I think could be fantastic for fixing the game. I don't know whether Epic will actually listen to these kind of videos, whether they implement changes like this, but you guys seem to love hearing my thoughts on stuff like this, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts as well. Let me know in the comment section down below if you agree or disagree with anything I'm going to talk about, but I want to address a few of the situations, some of the weapons, some of the rotations, and what is hopefully going to be some of the map changes that we are going to be getting in the near future. Epic already announced yesterday they have vaulted the UFOs from competitive. Will they be coming back? I'm not entirely sure. The fact that they put them in at all in their current form scares me that they're going to probably try to adjust them and nerf them and then bring them back. I didn't completely hate the idea of UFOs, and you got to remember, in this video, like a lot of my videos leading into the new season, I want the game to still be fun. I'm not going to say take out the Recon, take out the railgun, take out UFOs, take out this, because then we're just back to a boring plain meta, and I don't want that. So I think UFOs actually could function in the game competitively. Hear me out. Don't freak out. Don't click off the video. Let me explain. Firstly, you cannot pick up objects. You can't pick up the objects with the gravity ray, like the trucks, like the cars, and then just ram them into buildings. It doesn't work. Or if you can, to make it fun and still balanced, because it would never work in a competitive setting, maybe you can only carry items for like 5 seconds. So it's enough to have fun and mess around with in pubs, and maybe you pull off a cheesy play in arena here and there for a bit of a laugh, but you can't just hold on to trucks all game and just ram them through builds. Secondly, they should not have more than one life. Obviously, once you destroy a UFO, it should be destroyed. It shouldn't just start regenerating again 3 separate times. Also, this is the biggest one in my opinion, if you break it and if you damage enough and blow it up, the player in it should fall and be eliminated. If you want to sit above all the opponents and just boof, because everyone hates that guy. If you want to be that guy, fair enough, be my guest. But if I beam you and I take you down, you should die. That's pretty standard. It shouldn't be this animation of like flying it down and safely landing it. No. You don't get to safely land it. If you want to pull off the cheese strats, you should have a risk attached to that. Everything I talk about in Fortnite when it comes to balancing, and I'll talk about this when I talk about the weapons, there needs to be some risk to reward ratio. Right now with the alien ships, it's basically all reward, no risk. You can sit there and just keep beaming opponents forever, sit above its sky limit and get max placements, and then if someone does spot you or someone does focus you, you get just this second chance to just slowly fly down and then play the game. It should be like helicopters. If you explode up there, unless you've timed it to fall into some water or something, you should be eliminated. That just makes sense to me. So I think that would balance it all as well. As for the charge up explosive ball, I just don't know if it should be in the game, or if it should, it definitely shouldn't do as much damage as what it does. Maybe using it to like hit people who are out in the open for a bit of fun. It needs to have some kind of a weapon, but not just exploding builds constantly like it is, being able to shoot them forever and you never have a moment to actually look up. Like even if I'm versing a UFO and I know them and I'm not versing other players, which let's be honest, when you're versing other players when it's at its absolute worst, when you're doing that, you can't even get a moment to look up and shoot because there's just this barrage of energy balls going at you constantly. I would prefer it to be a bit more of an aim-based, skill-based weapon. Maybe give it like a mini turret where you can like shoot builds and don't have it break builds quickly, but have it do damage to players. So like when they peek out, you can get a bit of damage and have some fun with it. Again, I don't want UFOs just out of comp completely because we need some fun stuff and we need some fun items, especially in arena. But I agree that right now in their current state, thank you for vaulting them because they are terrible, but bring them back with a few adjustments and they could be fun. Ultimately though, I would actually rather just see UFOs and cars taken out of the game and hoverboards brought back. I don't think the cars are ultimately super broken, but now there's not mechanical parts. I'd rather just go back to being able to not drive cars, being able to farm them, and then just having hoverboards, because in a lot of senses, especially the new IO vehicles, the black ones with the logo on them, they are so fast. They are ridiculous off-road, and some of the rotations you can pull out with them in early and mid game is pretty broken. If you can box up a car these days at the moment, especially those black new cars, you can use it like a baller. You can just straight rotate to dead side, drive past players. There's not much they can do about it, but I don't want all mid-game rotation out of the game. If anything, I think hoverboards would be perfect. They were so good at rotating mid and early game. If you were smart, you could pull up trick shots and have some fun with them. They added a really cool element. It would fit the futuristic alien vibe of the season, but if you use them poorly in a tournament or in a competitive setting, you got beamed and you got punished. I see the cars for the mid-game rotation as a little bit cheesy, and I feel like they are, you know, kind of like Baller 2.0. Since we've had those, you know, chonky tires to put on them, they've gotten progressively stronger, but these new cars, you don't even need tires to use them off-road phenomenally well. I don't mind if the cars stay. I'm not ultimately against the cars. I just think the hoverboards are a way more skillful, more fun, and more storyline suited vehicle in the current meta. But I do like that there is a vehicle, because when you have just no rotation early and mid-game as far as vehicles or permanent rotation around the map, things get a bit ugly. And I talked about that in my wish list. I love that there's those permanent launch pads at the new locations. That's really, really cool. I would like more of those around the map. Maybe like kind of like the Spires with the Primal season. There's a part of the map that just has like, you know, maybe a new IO style base. It doesn't have to be anything much. Don't have it be like a new POI. Just have it be like a little platform, maybe with one chest or an item spawn, and then just a permanent launch pad. It'd be really cool. It's a way to get around the map, especially in arena and pubs. So, you know, the pace of the game's a bit faster. It's a bit more enjoyable. But then competitively, you can rotate to it and use it. But if you use it poorly, or if you don't use it in the right way, you're going to get beamed. And if it's there end game, you can play off it. You can box it up. You know it's there, but then your enemies know it's there. So they can come and try and use it as well, or they can set up and beam you. I love the idea of having more permanent rotation around the map, not just vehicles. As for weapons, I'm obviously going to talk about this. The railgun and the recon gun need to be nerfed and adjusted. Again, I don't want them taken out of the game because that takes just all the fun out of the game, but I don't really know how to balance the railgun. The recon gun, I think, could be really good if you made it maybe take rocket ammo, you made them really rare, or if it doesn't take rocket ammo, maybe it only has like, let's say 10 uses max, maybe like 5 uses, and once you do it, it's like a harpoon, it's gone. The fact that it's 2 uses that recharge infinitely makes no sense. You either need to make it take ammo like rockets that are hard to find, you need to make the item way harder to find, and what I would also like to see is maybe if it does have the radius it currently has, that big circle, it doesn't mark you through walls to see where the person is, like they can literally x-ray vision through the walls. Maybe make it just the red diamond above their head, so you have a rough idea of where they are, but you can't use the railgun, or you can't track them perfectly. Or if you do really want to keep that X-ray idea in the game, which is kind of cool, make it way smaller. I'm talking like maybe 1 or 2 box radius max. It can't just be this huge, massive radius that marks everyone through walls. So I think one or the other. Either make it not have a very big radius, and then you can see them through walls, or if it's gonna have a big radius, make it just a little diamond mark so you know who they are, and you know maybe there's 2 or 3 opponents, but you can't see exactly where they are. Either way, even with both those options, it definitely needs to be adjusted to have some kind of ammo capacity or max usage, because like I just talked about with the risk to reward, right now it's all reward, no risk. If I'm just running around, I'm just shooting those things around like nothing, because why not? I'll just shoot it over here. Is there someone there? No. I'll shoot it over there. Oh, we're pushing a fight. I'll shoot it up there. Oh, I'm popping minis. I'll shoot one at my feet. There's no reason not to just spam, and I don't think that's how it should be used. As far as the railgun, this one scares me because I don't think you should ever be able to shoot through walls. I just don't think that's a good idea in competitive at all. I get why it's fun, don't get me wrong, and I get the fact that it has a laser beam charge up so you can try and dodge it, you can put up a wall and a stair and you can block it off because it only breaks 1 layer. But have you seen teams 3-2-1 with 2 or 3 of these in competitive? It's an absolute joke. It's worse than heavy snipers. You can't block yourself. You can sit behind 4 layers of builds and they can still hit you if they have 3 of them. Like, it's absolutely disgusting. And even if they nerf the damage by half, just getting hit for 80 or 100 damage in the head through multiple builds and multiple walls endgame is never going to be a good idea. So I don't want to just start taking all the fun items out of the game, but when it comes to the railgun, I'm just not entirely sure it has a place in the meta. And if it does, make it super rare. This should have been the thing that's a mythic. This should be the weapon that drops drops at Sloan. There should only be 1 or 2 or 3 max of these in a game. Maybe one drops off Sloan and it's a mythic version, and then it only drops out of airdrops or something. If you want these fun items in the game, I get it, and I really like that as well, but maybe make them a bit more rare than literally finding them everywhere. You can find like 10 of these a game. That is not how they should function at all. Or again, like I said with the Recon scanner, have a max amount of uses. Maybe it spawns with 5 or 10 uses, and after that it is gone. So you can't just keep charging them up and using them on everything. Make it like the harpoon. I think way more things in Fortnite need to be used like the harpoon. Same with snipers. I love snipers in the game, and I think they do take a fair bit of skill to hit your shots, but the biggest issue right now is, again, the skill, the risk to reward ratio. If you have 60 heavy ammo, you're just jumping around, going for no scopes, going for quick scopes, shooting at everyone that moves, because why wouldn't you? You have 60 ammo. I think they need to have a max amount of 10 uses, and you can't get any more ammo after that. Once you go through your 10 uses of sniper, it's gone, and that's it. You can't just get an elimination and get more. You have to find a new sniper rifle like you did with a harpoon. I think that would balance those 3 weapons the most, make them still fun, keep them in the game, but then not have them be as effective against in competitive and just have them destroying everyone. The rest of the guns in the meta, I don't have a huge issue with. The main thing right now that I think Fortnite almost did really well, but just fell short, was the nuts and bolts side grading. I think it's so cool to be able to side grade the guns you want into a new gun, but I think you should be able to do it between all of them. I think right now there is no real 100% definitive, the pump is the best, the lever is the best, or the tack is the best. I made a tweet asking people what their thoughts were, and there was a very varying difference. I'm sure there's a majority that lean towards pumps or levers and then maybe tacks last, but overall, everyone has their preference. Everyone has a shotgun they like. I think if one of them isn't just the strongest and is by far meta, let people play the way they want. Let people side grade their shotgun into any other shotgun they want. It'd be so cool to have that in Fortnite, where once you get your hands on nuts and bolts, once you've made it off spawn, you get to play the game you want with the weapons you want. Because I get that RNG has to be in battle royales a little bit to have fun. You can't just have it be really stale. But I think once you've made it off spawn and you've gone through that little bit of a how good are you with different guns, how good are you with attack versus the pump, you should be able to then play your playstyle. Same goes with assault rifles, but I don't like the AK. I don't think the AK is a good gun. The heavy AR I just don't think has any use in current Fortnite. I think when it first came out and it was really, really strong and it did a lot of damage, it was great. But right now it does a little bit more damage, but the bloom is so terrible. You can't hold it down for any amount of time, but the damage isn't so much more where it's worth it. I think the meta should currently be regular AR, burst rifles because they're amazing, and then infantry rifle. The infantry is what the AK is supposed to be. It rewards really, really good accuracy, but if you don't hit your shots, that's it. But the AK right now, you take 1 shot, maybe 2 shots, and I made this joke, you're basically saying a prayer to Donald Mustard that your next shot hits because it's just full bloom across your screen. So I think if you made it regular AR, burst AR, and infantry, and then the same as I just suggested for the shotguns, you can then side grade between all of them, that'd be really cool. Like for example, myself, I'm really, really enjoying running infantry rifle tack. So I would love to be able to side grade my weapons to make that work, because infantry rifle pump is a little bit risky. If my aim's not on, it's really high risk, high reward. So I could maybe be like, okay, cool, I'm going to side grade my burst into an infantry, and then I'm going to side grade my lever into attack. And now I get to play the game the way I want. It's not way better than everyone else's. I don't have these 2 broken guns and anyone else can get their hands on them. I just think it lets people play to their specific play styles, because right now the shotgun and AR meta is really healthy. It creates debate. There is no question about which gun is best. It's always like, is this one the best? Is that one the best? Which one are you going to use? Where in the past we've just had it where it's like, if you don't use the pump, you're an idiot. It's not like that anymore. So let people play the way they want, because there is varying differences, which I think is a testament to how well Epic has balanced the current shotguns and ARs. I think the current gold economy needs to be worked on. I really like the vending machines around the map. I think they're really, really cool, and the amount of times I'll be running around on spawn, I have no meds, and I see there's a med vending machine, it sells minis. I love that element. Or you buy a blue pump for 50 gold. That's really, really cool. I don't think that needs to change. I think the vending machines are great. Well done, Epic there. Keep them in the game. Perfect. The upgrading is very odd. I talked about this previously. Why can I buy a blue pump for 50 gold, or I can upgrade my gray pump to green for 200? which is doing 2 quests on spawn, including my original 50. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. I shouldn't have to do 2 quests in a competitive game to upgrade my gray pump to a green. But I get in pubs because gold carries over. People just keep getting constant gold loadouts through upgrading, but that's in pubs. I'm not too worried about that. But competitively, the amount of gold required to upgrade needs to be adjusted. If you're doing quests and you're playing smart and you're rotating based on that, you should be rewarded with better guns, where right now, I don't think anyone's using gold to upgrade. And if you are, it's very rare and it's not something you're playing to. So I love the idea of upgrading. I don't think material invested upgrading should come back, because that kind of rewarded players, especially in Arena, who just drop edge of the map, farm for 10 minutes, get a spaz, and then can dominate a player who has been playing more aggressive, but arguably has been playing well, but they haven't found a gold spaz. You might disagree. You might agree that it's a battle royale. Those who put in the preparation and play safe and put in the time should be rewarded, but I'm more of a fan of doing the gold, the quest, because I think it's more fun, for one, rather than just breaking trees for 10 minutes, and it takes a bit more skill and planning. As far as meds, I really think chug splashes should be in the game. Anytime you have a trio competitive meta, chug splashes should be in. I've already talked about why I get that they do make more heal offs, which is usually not what most people like. Heal offs aren't really good from a casual or competitive stance. Pro players just feel like they're cheated by players who are just hoarding floppers and splashes, and casuals just don't like watching games go to heal off either. So I get that, but I've already talked about how you can make other adjustments to make it that you can't use as many meds in Storm, but I think chug splashes very much should be in competitive. But other than that, the med loadout right now and the loot pool looks pretty good, and I think the way of finding minis and bigs around the map right now feels good. Whatever they've done with the drop chances and the rates of finding them, it's very rare in Arena. I feel like I'm just running around with no shield. Sometimes on spawn it's a bit of an issue, but with those med vending machines like I already talked about, and after I get a few eliminations, I do feel pretty solid as far as going around and just going from fight to fight and staying pretty healthy. So other than bringing chug splashes back, I think the healing loadout is pretty good. The only issue I do have in competitive right now, especially with solos coming up, as I was watching some solo scrims today, is the llama dropping the chug splash. That's a big element of RNG that I guess you could argue is a good thing, but in solos, say there's 6 games, if someone's blessed enough to find 2, maybe 3 llamas in those 6 games, they get the chug splashes, they have a massive, ridiculous increased chance of winning that FNCS, and have they earned it? I leave that up to you guys. I think the way the llama works right now is really cool. I love the fact they run. I love the fact they're really healthy, so they're hard to kill, but then they give you a lot back. But I think getting a lot of ammo and mats is a big thing, but other people can gain that just by looting. That's not really something that's like next level, but gaining a guaranteed chug splash, the only way to get a chug splash through just pure luck, no preparation, no skill, I don't know how I feel about that coming into especially a solo and trio FNCS. Like, finding llamas is now going to potentially make or break teams or players when it comes to winning millions of dollars. I'm not really going to talk about adjustments to the map because I've harped on enough about my feelings about the map. I want it to change. I hope it's going to change. But one thing I haven't talked about too much about, 100% chest spawn. This needs to come back. I don't know a single person who likes not 100% chest spawn, except for the most casual of casual players. And if that's the case, keep it that way in pubs. But I don't know a single player who plays Arena or tournaments even semi-regularly who doesn't think we should have 100% chest spawns. I talked about in yesterday's video, sorry, the day before, how there was, you know, a lot of drop splitting going on coming into FNCS, and that's one of the main reasons why they got rid of 100% chest spawns. But with it being trio FNCS now, and again, with people still doing drop splitting despite getting rid of 100% chest spawns, we need it back, please. It's just, as someone who is not the best mechanically but loves coming up with smart drop spot routes and minimizing RNG so that when I take a fight, I have an advantage, I need 100% chest spawn. I can't just drop into a POI and just hope the chest is there or hope the guns are there. I need some level of assurance that what I'm doing and what I'm planning is going to result in some kind of a loot. There are a few other changes, but I didn't want to make this video too super long, and I think these are the main ones. I really wanted to stick to the things that I think are the most important instead of just nitpicking at little things that would only make a small difference. I don't want to get this twisted. I want you guys to think I think this is a terrible season. It is awful. It's the death of Fortnite. I just think these are things that could be easily improved on, and I want to get your guys' thoughts. Do you agree? I'm not pretending like I know everything. A lot of these points that I've made, if you're a different kind of player and you have a different view of the game, you might completely disagree with me, and if that's the case, again, let me know. But I just wanted to make a video because you guys like hearing my thoughts on things, and I've been talking about this a lot on stream when people keep asking my opinion about the season, so I thought it might be good to just get it all in one video. Hopefully once the arena points reset and I can start playing arena more, I'll get a better idea of the meta, where obviously I've been watching a lot of scrims, I've been playing a lot of pubs, I've been playing a fair bit of trio arena in the afternoons when the queues get a little bit better. I will actually be doing a pretty long stream today and tomorrow playing some solo arena because it's the weekend, so hopefully I'll get a bit of an idea of it then. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please chuck a like on it. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean so much to me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.